What's going on, everyone? Today I'm going to be showing you the settings for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022. Now, this is not the video of what's the best settings. This is just an overview of the settings that we understand where things are. So go ahead and hit that main menu. We're going to go over to the gear, and this is where you're going to find all of your settings. So if you know what the name of the setting that you're looking for is, you can just go ahead and type that bad boy in right here and just find it that way. For your quick settings, you'll have stuff like master volume, you'll have your inputs. So if you're just looking really quickly for a button layout, you can do a custom one. You can adjust all that stuff to yourself, and you can choose all of these different options that they have here as well. That way, you can just go based on one of their presets. I'm going to leave it at default though. You can also do stick layouts. So you have different layouts as well. You can mess with your horizontal and vertical sensitivities, your brightness, and that's going to be everything for your quick menus. So if you open up the little side menu here, we got some extra ones that we can go into. So we got controller next. Now for controller, you can have it to where you got the aiming input device is automatically going to be locked if you're on console, unless you have like a keyboard or something attached to it, but I'm using a controller. You got your button layouts. You can also, again, mess with the button layouts here. You can flip to have it to where the L1 and R1 are flipped. You also have your stick layouts and controller vibration. We're turning that off because I hate that. Trigger effects, full haptics. I'm actually going to turn that off. But if you notice, any of the ones that have a star, those are the ones that are added to the quick setting. Anything that doesn't have a star, if you want to add it to the quick setting, there'll be a little icon at the very bottom of the screen here. For me, it's just hit triangle to add it. That's how you can add it to your quick setting if you wanted to just have it there versus trying to find it in here. Then you can also, again, mess with that. You can have your ADS sensitivity adjusted. I haven't messed with any of this stuff yet, so we're kind of going as we go. You can have these options being messed with as well. So your third person sensitivity, ground vehicle sensitivity, air, and tablet. Then you got your vertical aim axis. You can do inverted or standard. For your gameplay, you can have it to where you aim down your sight behavior. You either have to hold it or you can toggle it. Automatic sprint, you can have it to where it will automatically sprint or it'll be a tactical sprint. Behavior for your equipment, toggle it or hold it. Weapon mount activation, ADS melee, you can have it off. You can do double tap ADS or ADS. And then interact, reload behavior. You can tap to reload. You can tap to interact, prioritize, interact, or prioritize reload. Armor plating behavior. Apply one, apply all. We are applying all. That's what we're doing. Yes, yes, sir. So for advanced, before I get out of there, you can have your target aim assist on, you can have it off. You can have your aim assist type. You can have it to be default focus, black ops, or precision. For your aim response curve, linear or dynamic, or you can keep it on standard. ADS sensitivity multiplayer focus. You also have your ADS sensitivity transition timing, and that could be gradual, after zoom, or instant. You can do custom sensitivity per zoom, and then they have all these extra options if you do enable it. Input dead zone. This is going to be tricky. I'm going to have to mess with this on my own, but this is actually really good for you guys to mess with. And then you got your movements. So you got your sprint and tactical sprint behavior. So that would be toggle or hold. Your auto move forward, off, single tap, double tap. Tactical sprint behavior, double tap, single tap sprint, or single tap run. You'll have grounded melee, on or off. So if it's on, the jump button will make you mantle on nearby obstacles while you are grounded. If it's off, then it won't make you jump while on the ground. You must first jump and then you may mantle. So however you want to do it. I'll probably adjust these settings later. Then you got your airborne mantle. So for partial, it makes you automatically mantle only if you could prevent a fall. Automatic mantle when in airborne, movement towards nearby obstacles, and then just completely off. It says that it does not automatically mantle on ledges that can be used to perform a ledge hang. Then you got your ground mantle, and that could be short, long, or off. You have your inverted slide and dive behavior, so that could be inverted or standard. And then you have your plunging underwater, so movement or plunge freely. And then parachute auto deploy, yes, I'm gonna keep that on. And sprinting DoorDash, I do like that. So then we go into our combat. So we have ADS stick swipe. So if that is off, then sticks don't swap during ADS. Sticks swap as soon as transitions to ADS begins if you choose instant. And then fully zoomed, sticks only swap when the transition to ADS is complete. Then we have our backpack alternate control. If it's off, then you use the directional buttons to navigate the backpack interface. If it's on, you use the movement sticks to navigate the backpack interface. This will put you in an auto move forward. You're going to keep that shit off. Weapon mount, exit, delay. You can have that be short, long, or medium. It says choose how long a movement input must be held before exiting weapon mounting when you've reached the surface edge. So I might mess with this later, just kind of figure out which one I like the most. Depleted ammo weapon switch. And if it's on, then the weapons will automatically switch when you are trying to fire while ammo is depleted. If it's off, you must manually switch weapons when ammo is depleted. Then you got your quick C4 detonation. If it's on, then you'll press the R1 or whatever button it is for you to detonate any C4 before throwing another. Lethal, if it's off, the press lethal equipment throws all C4 before detonating them. And then you have your vehicle camera recenter, so you have a short delay. It could be off, it could be defaulted as well as long delay. So if the camera's off, the camera never recenters itself while driving vehicles. Default, the camera recenters automatically after a specific amount or after a specific moment for each vehicle when driving them. Short delay is the camera recenters itself automatically after a short moment, or a long delay would be a long moment while driving. Then you'll have the camera initial position, so you have free look or behind vehicles. And then the last two is the ping wheel delay. So you can have it to be long, short, long, or longest. Set the length of time that you must hold the ping button before the ping wheel opens. And then you have also the double tap danger ping delay, moderate. You can also have that be off, short, long, or longest. So I'm going to adjust those later too. For your graphics, you have on-demand texture streaming. I have that off because that way it will only show local textures. And it says that enabling this allocates 24 gigabytes to this feature and requires significant available console storage space. So I was like, yeah, no, this game already takes enough space as it is. I don't need all the high-end graphics. I'm good. But here's some of the settings if you guys do decide you want to keep it. Then I turned off world motion blur, weapon motion blur, so that way I don't have to worry about any of that. Then you have your film gain. It's not too bad. Depth of field on. Then you have the Fidelity FX CAS or CAS. I have that off too. Basically, it just enhances the sharpness of scenes rendering using the AMD Fidelity FX sharpening thing. And then you can adjust the settings there. Then you have your field of view. And you can also have it to where the ADS field of view is affected or it's independent. And you can have it to where it's going to be default, wide, or narrow. So if it's wide, it's going to have the weapon look smaller. And then if it's going to be default, it'll still look as intended. And then if it's narrow, then it's going to look bigger. So just kind of keep that in mind. For third-person view, we just have the vehicle as well as the field of view for that. But the vehicle field of view, you can have it be narrow, you can have it be wide, as well as default. And then you got your first-person camera movements. You can adjust those. Third-person camera movements, you can adjust those. ADS, first-person ADS or third-person ADS. And then you also have your helmet camera. So you could do game perspective or you could do the helmet camera. So game perspective says that it uses the camera that corresponds to the player's perspective, corresponding to the first or third person camera. Or if you use the helmet camera, it's obviously using the helmet camera. So I kind of like just game perspective. Third person's a cool little feature, but I'm glad they allow us to toggle it off. And then you got your brightness and your safe area. For audio is such a tricky thing, especially when you're trying to like stream the campaign like I was. But you'll have different options that you can choose from when it comes to what you're using. Master volume controls all these guys underneath it. But for music, that's all right. Dialogue volume, this is where it's tricky. So if you're streaming this, I don't know if they fixed this in an update, but when I was streaming it before an update happened, the cutscenes are actually lower than when it's in-game dialogue being told. So do keep that in mind that you may have a little bit of fluctuation on your sound and it might cause a little bit of problems. But you can try these settings and see if they work, but it just kind of gives you a base foundation to work with if it's still giving issues. But you'll be able to have all that. Subtitles, you can have subtitles on and off for everything. I'm actually going to put those back on because I had to have them off for one point. Then you have the size. So as you can see, if it's default, it's going to be like the normal size, larger, largest, however you want to have it. Voice chat on, you can have all lobbies, voice chat device, if you have headset or speaker, open mic, voice chat volume, mic test, and then your microphone volume. So for channels, you can mute yourself when connecting. And then you have your audios for like Juggernaut music, hit marker sound effects, and everything like that. So the hit marker sound effects, you can choose either none or classic or just Modern Warfare. And then for the reduce, I don't know how to say that, but some type of sound, it basically is the sound from the concussion and flash grenades. Shell shock is replaced with a more dull, murky sound. Or you can leave it as the sound that is used for concussions and flash grenade shell shock. So for your interface, this is going to be like your menu text, and that's going to be like large or largest. Then you have your text chat size, large or largest. You can mess with the opacity, so that way it's a little bit dark or see-through, depending on how you want it to be. You can also have the text chat messages to be short or medium, long, very long. Languages you can choose. And then you also have color customization. So for your color customization, you can have it to where you'll have your targets be a different color. You have the world color intensity as well as the interface color intensity. And you can kind of like adjust these things for like what's being contested, your neutral colors, and so on and so forth, like you kind of see on the map. And then you'll kind of see stuff like that, and like that, and like that. So I'm kind of cycling through the photos here, if you're kind of curious. But yeah, it kind of shows you what it would look like, and whatever changes you make here, it will show over there. For your subtitles, we kind of already went over this. And subtitle size, the opacity background, and then you have your minimap shape. So if you want it to be round or if you want it to be square, you also can have it to where it will minimap rotate. So if it's on, the minimap's always going to be oriented in the direction that the player is facing. And if it's off, then it's going to be static and only the player icon will be rotating in the direction that the player is facing. For your crosshair, you can have your crosshair on and off, hit marker on and off, damage-based hit markers on or off. You can do full name, abbreviated, or icon only. So abbreviated, only show full name of the player. Icon does not display the name of the player. So that's also kind of a good way for those of you guys who don't want to get stream sniped. You can just have it to where it's icon only and nobody will be able to tell it's you. Vehicle HUD prompts. So it could fade after 5 seconds, or it just never disappears at all. All right. So for your telemetry, you can either have it to where it's default, essential, all on, all off, or custom. So this is hardware network monitoring for whatever it is you want to show. So if you wanted to show like the essentials, which is going to be like your FPS counter, GPU temperature, packet loss, stuff like that. Or you can have it custom and you can choose whichever ones you want. So you can have it to where it will show these. Like I like to see if I'm getting packet loss if I'm in a really bad server. I could also do the server latency if I'd like to figure out, how that's doing, how the server response is, and clock speeds and stuff like that. So, or not clock speeds, but system clock, sorry. For your connection meter, this will kind of display two graphs in a near real-time measurement of your ping and your packet loss and currently connected to the game server in multiplayer mode. Only works in public games. We're turning that bad boy on. So then you have your tooltips. You can keep that on or off. Then you have your parallax effects. So turning off the 3D effects in the menu can reduce motion sickness. Your center dot adds a static dot in the middle of the screen. This point of focus will help alleviate motion sickness. And the last one is account and networking. This one, you'll be able to have crossplay on and off, crossplay communication, Activision account, two-factory I can never say this thing. Two-factory authentication. Here we go. You can block players up to 200. That needs to be like way higher. You have your network information. You can have your text chat on and off. I just have it off, just kind of like dealing with it. And then I also have dismemberment and gore effect turned off just because I don't really care. And then you can see your credits. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the settings, and you can access a good portion of this stuff just through the quick settings. So if you want to add certain things up to 15, ones you're always going to use, just add it to your quick settings and it'll be all right here. So like, for example, if I wanted to bring in like the quick play for here, I would then just go and hit the triangle, go back up to here, and then it should be right down here. Yeah, so I got it right there. And then if I wanted to get rid of this one, all I got to do is hit the triangle and go back in, and it's gone. So that's how you can add stuff, get rid of stuff very easily. But yeah, that is pretty much everything for the settings. I know I went through a lot of it, kind of explained a lot of it, and for some it might be self-explanatory, for others it might not be. But I wanted to give that detail for you guys, whether you're watching, listening, or anything like that. But if I missed anything, or if you have any questions, or if you're confused about anything, let's talk about it in the comment section below. But if you also found this video helpful, be sure to comment, like, share, and subscribe, as it does help the channel out. And if you want to see more Modern Warfare 2 videos, then take a look at this one here as I go through your profile and how to set up your showcase for everyone to see all the hard work that you've been doing.